5 in the morning. I'm Latasia Jones, and joining me on the couch now is Miss Jen Bussey. Welcome to the couch. Welcome to the show. So Miss Jen Bussey works for the Hammond Development Corporation, right?
Yes.
So first and foremost, before we get into the 2020 census and everything, can you tell me what the Hammond Development Corporation is?
Yes. We're actually located in downtown Hammond.
Mm-hmm.
We've been around for over 20 years, which a lot of people don't realize.
Right.
We're kind of behind the scenes a little bit. We do a lot of incubation for small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
That's our main mission. We've been operating, doing the next level class, which teaches minority and women businesses how to write a business plan. It's something that we're real passionate about, and we worked with that. We work with office space. So we offer office space where maybe you're just starting up and you don't need a whole big building, or you don't need a whole floor. You just need one office because you want to look professional. You need access to conference rooms. We have that. All of it's included in your rent. The copy machines, all of your electric, all of your water, all of your NIPSCO, everything is included in your low price. Because we want businesses to be successful. That's the most important thing to us. So it's kind of a way that we foster businesses. We have a business consultant, Jackie DeRosa, that's on staff, and she teaches the next level class. Our friend, Chelsea Whittington, she also has come in and done some programs for us and taught people about different things with small businesses, so how about marketing, all that kind of things. So we offer quite a bit.
That's very interesting because I never knew anything about that in the small businesses and everything. So how do you all kind of like find these businesses, or do these businesses find you? Because I don't know anything about it.
We work in conjunction with the city a lot. Sometimes somebody will come and they're looking for space. Like, I want to open a restaurant, I want to open a bakery, I want to, operate. We had somebody that came that wanted to have a factory that had masks. They were building masks right in the beginning of the pandemic. Those kinds of things, when they hear about it, but maybe they are looking for something a little more small scale, or if they've got a great idea, they just don't know how to get it off the ground, that's when they come to us.
Got it.
So we get referrals. A lot of people that go through the next level classes are very excited and spread the word that way, so there's a lot of one-on-one with that. So it's kind of a little bit of both.
Okay, so if I was a small business and interested in renting out a space, how do I go about that? Do I just come into the building? Like, where do I go to do that?
There's several different avenues. Probably your easiest is to go to our website, which is hdcnwi.org.
Okay.
Sorry, I tripped that up.
We're family here.
Yes. That way you can kind of look at the space. We have a little bit of pictures on there to show you what the space looks like. Our building that's the biggest that we have right now, we have kind of like a more substantiated business incubator that is just like substantiated businesses going there. They already know what they're doing. They don't need much help. That's at our Indiana building at 5246. If you're looking for kind of that network that you need to kind of foster your business, then that's the hub. That's at 5233. So we have kind of like a stair-step operation. The other one is like a median where it's a smaller business, but you're more established. Maybe you have a couple offices. That's in our 5209 HDC Business Center. Okay. So we kind of have a little stair step of whatever it is you're looking for.
Got it. Okay, and so what is the price ranges between these, the offices?
So they start off at $250.
Okay.
That's in the business incubator.
A month?
A month.
Okay.
Yes, sorry. $250 a month, and that includes all your utilities. That includes your Wi-Fi. That includes all of your copies, all that kind of stuff.
Got it.
So everything is, you don't have to think about it. You just go in there and you start working.
Got it.
Then they go up to, in that building, about $550. That's, the bigger offices where you can spread out, maybe have multiple people. And then we also have the business across the street, which can go up to, I think the biggest one that we have right now is $1,400.
Gotcha. Okay, so enough about the Hammond Development Corporation. Hopefully you guys got some information about that. Now let's talk about the 2020 census, because that is very important. Honestly, I am just now learning what the census is, and I still don't have a sense of what the census truly is. So first and foremost, can you break down what is the 2020 census?
The 2020 census is really important. It was mandated. It's in the Constitution, which I don't think a lot of people know that.
Absolutely not. No.
Yes, it's in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 2.
Okay.
This is the 24th census that the United States has taken. It is required by law that you fill it out. The reason being, it's not because the government wants to be nosy. It's not because they want to be in your business. It's because they need to know where services need to go. So everything that you answer is going to have an effect on how your community gets its services.
Okay.
So anything like the fire department and hospitals and police and infrastructure, even roads, and any kind of improvements, those are all done by the census. They ask people where they're at, how many are in their household, just very simple things, and that can tell them, okay, this is a population that we need to have this much stuff in, that kind of thing. So it kind of divvies out. Instead of just giving you a blanket, everybody gets this amount. Now they see, okay, this population is way higher, they need way more resources, that's where we're going to put our money into.
Got it.
And another thing I've learned, it also affects the state representatives and the congressional districts. Which I didn't
Break that
realize.
down. What is even that? I don't know what that is.
Okay, so your congressmen, they each have districts within the state, and they represent your state in Congress, in the federal government. So if your population is bigger, you may have more than one around you compared to them kind of pulling it down because the census doesn't give them a lot of people. If you are representing your people, so if your people isn't a giant number, you're only going to have a small representation.
Got it. Okay, makes a lot of sense. So now that you kind of broke that down, I guess I get a sense of why I should care, but let's just ask the question, why should I care about the census?
Because it directly affects you. So if you're trying to get something done in your state, something I've heard over my whole life. I'm a Hammond resident, have been my entire life.
What school did you go to?
I went to Morton.
Oh, okay. I went to Hammond. Okay.
But so now I lost my train of thought because I was getting crazy.
No, I asked you why should I care?
Right. Okay. So I hear a lot of people complain. All of our money goes to the bottom of the state. All of our money goes to Indianapolis. Go to Indianapolis, you see it's beautiful.
Yes.
There's all kinds of new infrastructure. There's great roads. There's great buildings. There's all these things. But you have to represent your state.
Okay.
So if you're not representing your area, your community, you're not going to get that funding.
Okay.
Probably my guess is when you look at, there is a map, if you go on Census, 2020census.com, or .gov, I'm sorry, there is a map showing you how many people are responding right now. So one of the things I looked up was the national rate to the census right now is at 61% of people in the United States have responded. That's pretty good, especially during a pandemic.
Okay.
Right? And then for our state, Indiana, we're at 66.3.
Okay.
Lake County is only at 65.6. We're a little below what the state is. All the counties around us are higher than us.
Wow.
They're all into the 72, 73%. So when you're complaining that all the money goes downstate, this is why.
Wow.
They're the ones that are responding to the census. They're the ones showing this is what our population is, this is how many people we are, these are our needs. So if you're not responding and you're not giving up that information, it's going to cause a little bit of disparity on where the money goes.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. This is getting juicy, girl. You know what? We'll be back in about 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Make sure you stay right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to tell y'all like your outfit.
Bring us back in like.
So Jen, you're still live. How's everything going at HDC? We're gonna just stay live.
Right.
It's going fantastic.
For those of you who are just tuning in here on the CWIT channel, I'm with my client, Jen Bussey, the Executive Director of the Hammond Development Corporation. And the messaging today, as you can hear, focuses on Census 2020. Jen, where is Hammond on the list? How is Hammond doing as far as the percentage of filling out and completing the census?
I think they're right up there in the Lake County. Everybody is right around the 60 to 65% range.
Okay.
We can be doing so much better.
Yes.
We really can. I mean,
Yes.
I know that I work very closely with the city on this. I'm on their board for the census this year. And so that's something we're really focusing on. You have to represent where you're from.
Absolutely.
If you don't, you get lost.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a lot of things that my vote doesn't count. My opinion doesn't count. This counts. This is where you really count. So if you're trying to really show where you're from and what you need to do, Hammond counts.
Okay.
So get to the
Right.
census and get it
Yes, I've been getting involved all across the county regarding the census. LaTasia, Have you filled out your census yet?
Yes.
Okay.
My mom filled it out on behalf of all of us. in the
Okay,
house now.
very
I don't
good.
want
You
no
know that
bad
question
stuff.
was coming. I know you
Yes.
asked the questions,
Yes.
but I had to flip the camera onto you to make sure that our millennials are getting counted. Can you just talk a little bit about that? Latasia is in our millennial population, and sometimes I'm not. Let's see, how do I say this? They're very free spirited. So
Yes.
that's that question that says, why should I care? And so are there
Right.
specific measures we're taking to make sure that they're in the loop about it and recognizing the importance of it?
Yes, I think it's been very interesting because, of course, we're doing this during a pandemic, which is, I don't know if the census was
Crazy.
ever done before during a pandemic. They seem to come around about every 100 years, but the census itself being taken during this time is very difficult. So a lot of people are fearful. A lot of, the best way to avoid being, not being in your social distancing guidelines is to fill it out online or
Yeah.
fill it out by phone.
Yeah.
Getting that done.
Okay.
And with that population, it's kind of like, yeah, we're out, we're free, we don't really care. But it's really important because you're gonna care.
Yes.
You're gonna care because this is gonna affect you for the next 10 years.
10 years.
So when you're 30 or 23 and you're now 33, it makes a big difference.
Right.
Now you're involved in schools. Now you're involved in fire departments, health, all
You
those
might be a
kinds of
parent
things.
by then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Things have changed in your lifetime in 10 years. So I know the conversations when we were at the first meetings were, we are directly affected by the 2010 because we didn't have a big response. We lost congressional districts. There was a lot of
Dollars.
stuff that was all changed around because of that. So that's why it's so important to reach out and make sure that you're getting that done, because by the time 10 years rolls around again, it's going to be really important to you.
Okay. Well, I'm
much
just
time I
going to pan the
A
room.
minute and 15 seconds.
All right, a minute and 15 seconds. Everybody in this room filled out their census? Yes, I'm putting you on blast. Yes.
My granny hooked me up.
All right. Yes, yes.
Granny hooked up the whole house.
All right, for the grannies and anybody who's watching.
And that shows how important it is. When you're in that older generation, you're really looking for representation. You're really looking for hospital care, those kinds of things, the conveniences of your community things. They have to be very close to you. And
Yes.
they're going to close them down if they don't think your population is
Yes.
represented.
I like that point you made about Indianapolis flourishing.
Yes.
I hope that's going to be us in Northwest Indiana
I hope
this
so
time
too.
around.
I've never seen such a push for the census as it is this year, so that makes me very hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just I'm more aware of it because again, this is 10 years later.
Right.
I am years old.
Yeah.
And so now it affects
You have
me a little
20
bit
seconds.
differently.
Absolutely. And there's the advent of social media, which really helps. So everybody keep tuning in. We're getting ready to
You
go
just be
back
making me
live.
laugh.
Live in the
10,
morning on LRP.
9,
Cause it's so
8,
quiet.
7,
It's monotone. I use
6,
loud and monotone.
Right.
4, 3, 2.
Welcome back to LRP Live in the Morning. I'm Latasia Jones, and I'm here with Miss Jen Bussey from the Hammond Development Corporation. And if you guys haven't been tuning in, you're just now making it here. We're talking about the 2020 census and why should we care as millennials about the 2020 census. So, can you just give me a recap again on what the 2020 census is?
Sure. So it's going to tell the state how many people are represented in your area. It's big for community things, like I said, infrastructure, hospitals, police, all those things that are going to involve you later in your life. When you're 18, it doesn't seem to be like a big deal. And you're like, what census? I don't care. But your parents know how important it is because they've been through it. Every 10 years, we go through this cycle. And every 10 years, you'll find, as I have in my lifetime, it becomes more important to you. As your life changes, you become a parent, you don't become a parent, whatever it is that you're going for, you're going to start saying, now I'm a community activist. Now I'm involved in my community. But we don't have community services because people don't fill out their census. If the government doesn't know you exist, it's not going to give you the needs that you, or the stuff that you need.
Got you. So now the census is taken into account every 10 years?
Yes, it is.
Gotcha. Okay, so now, like, when and how do I get the results of the census? Like, when do I find out, like, how the census has shaped our community? I guess,
Sure.
if that makes sense.
Okay, you can go, right now you can go on 2020census.gov and you can look live to see what the percentages are. There's a map, You can go by county, you can go by city, you can go by state, you can go by the whole country, just to see where your census is.
Mm-hmm.
Now the final numbers will come in, they turn them into the president in December, at the end of the year. Then he redistricts everything. All those things are made within the states according to the census in March. March 31st, 2021 is where we'll see very final results on how this census is going to affect us.
Got it. And so if I don't do my part in filling out the census, what does it affect?
It affects everything, basically. Everything that you're involved in with your community. If you don't fill it out, if they don't get a great representation, you're going to lose things. We have shown in the last 10 years that we lost certain things as far as our representation in the state. We've lost funding. That's really important. The things you complain about, bridges, roads. Why does my road never get paved? Why does this not happen? Why does the highway stink up here? You know, those kinds of things. That's where you're getting your money from. The state will allocate that according to the census.
Got it. So this is the only way, in a sense, I guess, how our communities will kind of be developed, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like through this census is like the only real way.
It's the only real count. It's that's exactly what it is. It's a count. And just to put that out there too, the one thing that people are worried about is my information going to get passed on?
Yes.
Is this secure? It is federal law. They cannot give your information out. If they do, it's a $250,000 fine per person if they violate that law. It's a very big deal. So that all that is very secure. It's very, very tight as far as worried about, am I going to get reported to this? This is not a sting operation.
Got it.
You can't be reported to ICE. You can't be reported to Child Welfare Services. You can't report it to anything.
Okay.
This is basically just a count of what your household is and what your needs are.
Got it. Okay, so when should the 2020 census be completed? Is there a deadline for when it has to be completed? Is that?
Yes, they have extended the deadline because of the pandemic. So the deadline now is in October.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you have time.
You have time, but if you don't want people coming to your door,
fill
it online, because that's going to start. They're going to start making phone calls July 16th. They're going to start doing person-to-person in August.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you want to avoid that, you don't want people to come to your house, you don't feel comfortable about that, you don't want to share it with a stranger, make a phone call. There's two telephone numbers. Let me look at my cheat sheets.
Okay.
If you're calling in and you don't have access to a computer, which, by the way, HDC does have that access. So if you are not able to have a computer, have a Wi-Fi, have any way to do the census, and you are comfortable coming in, give us a call. We're at 219-803-6300. You can come right in. We will make an appointment with you. You can use our laptop. We also have a Spanish-speaking translator on staff, so she can talk to you. She can speak in your native tongue if it's Spanish and you're confused. She knows everything about the census.
Got it.
So the phone number to call in, if you just want to do it that way, you don't want to have any contact, you're a little concerned. The English one is 844-330-2020. The Spanish-speaking line is 844-468-2020.
Got it. Now, my last and final question, maybe I have two more, but this one is, now how do they know if I filled out the census or not? As far as them not coming to my home, do they know that I filled it out, so that's why they won't come? Or
Yes.
How does that even work?
So, regardless of whether or not you do it online or you do it over the phone, all those things are instantly put into their computer systems. And it may take, there was a question online that I looked up that was clever because I had the same question. I filled mine out right away. As soon as I got it, I was like, woohoo, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Got a little card, had a barcode, put in all of my information, and boom, I thought it would be done instantly. Now, of course, it takes a little while for that all to get in their system. So I was still getting the text messages saying, hey, make sure you fill out your census.
Right.
Those messages, I'm like, I did. But so just know that it takes a couple little weeks to get caught up.
Okay.
But that is all that information is going directly to them. They're loading it into their database and then updating that.
Got it. Awesome. Now, can you tell me one more time, where could I fill out my 2020 census? Where is the Hammond Development Corporation, and how does it all affect me?
Yes. Okay, so if you want to make an appointment, you can call us at 219-803-6300. We are located in downtown Hammond, right on
around the
Hammond
corner,
Avenue.
right?
We're neighbors, right down the street. So we're located right down the street, and it's at 5233 Hammond Avenue.
Okay.
If you are comfortable doing it yourself and you think you want to give it a go right ahead. You can go on Census or 2020census.gov. It's very simple. A lot of people got panicked because they threw away their cards. Those cards that we got in the mail, they didn't realize how important it was. You can still fill it out.
Okay.
All that does is kind of download your basic information that they got from the 2010 census from that residence. So if you don't have that code, it's fine. You can enter everything.
Okay.
It'll take you maybe 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Total 10 minutes to fill it out. So it can be filled out that way. And again, those phone numbers for calling in if you're not comfortable or you don't have access to a computer and you don't want to come in to make an appointment with us, which is very convenient, by the way.
Right.
We can walk you through it. Yes. The English phone number is 844-330-2020, and the Spanish-speaking line is 844-468-2020. One more point I wanted to make too, real quick, was that one thing that people are forgetting to count are babies.
Okay.
Babies are counted. People, they're going to be 10 years old the next time this rolls around. It's very important to children under the age of 5 are counted. Veterans, if you know of a veteran, please get a hold of them, help them out, call on the phone with them, get them walked through. Babies and veterans are probably the least amount counted people that there is. So if you are aware of somebody that you know that hasn't done it yet, just strike up the conversation. Have you done it yet? Veteran services are also all put together by the census.
Got it. So this one census over the course of 10 years is going to affect, or this one census is going to affect 10 years worth of funding.
Yes.
Wow. So every year do we get more fund? Like how does it work? Like I'm interested. So it's like, okay, I take the census. We do the census one time, and so each year I get the same amount of funding. You see what I'm saying? Like what I'm trying to say?
Right. I think what the biggest issue is that's how they set the districts for everything.
Okay.
That's how they set the representation for everything. So as those dollars are funded out every year, those numbers can now be changed, and it'll make a difference.
Got it. Okay. So, I get it now. So hopefully you guys go out, if you haven't already, and fill your 2020 census out. It's very, very, very important, as I've just found out. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining me here on the couch. Next, we're going to talk about ways to show humility. So make sure you stay right there. You're watching LRP Live in the morning. I'm Tasia Jones, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you again, Jen.
Thank you.
Great job.
We're out.
Good job, Jen.
Good job, you all.